Insights with Terri Ep.209, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.209. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.209. Thank you for joining me to explore together the week of March the 2nd through the 9th, 2025. Wow, everything happened so fast. There's just so much going on in the world. It's really, really tough to keep up, isn't it? It can become very addictive, wanting to know, not wanting to be left behind. And I find that there's two camps pretty well. The camp that doesn't want to know anything at all because they're too stressed by it or they don't care, one or the other. And the other camp, and maybe that's the one that I can be in, is almost all the time listening, trying to keep up, trying to assimilate the information, try to understand what does that mean for my fellow creatures here on this earth? How can I help? What can we learn? How do we grow from this? How do we learn from all of these challenges? How do we learn from history? But sometimes you have to take a break and maybe just kiss your dog, go for a walk, and play with sticks and balls. So we're going to have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that? So you listen to your body, listen to your heart. You'll be able to know when it's time to take a break or when it's time to push forward and be aware of what's going on. Putting our heads in the sand about anything doesn't fix, ever, ever, ever. It gets bigger and bigger. So that isn't the approach that we should be taking, is pretending there's not issues about the things that need to be talked about or communicated about. And a lot of the cards that I pulled today stress just that. So we're going to incorporate that when we go and look at the tarot cards, what they have to say for us and to us about communication and standing together, united. So the first zodiac sign is Pisces, so we're still in Pisces. We'll be in Pisces for a couple more weeks here. That's your psychic energy field, that fluid water sign that will enable us to be flexible if we choose, but the challenge is the two fish swimming in two different directions. So you may find yourself feeling during this time push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Kind of like rocking a car trying to get it out of a stuck position. And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that is for one day of this week in Pisces, and it has been there for a few weeks. That will be moving to Aries. Now, Aries, ruling planet, is Mars, and Mars in Greek mythology is the god of war, the red planet, the angry planet. So we have to be very careful because Mercury, how we think, and then we have this Aries that can erupt, can burst into flames, and everything being so volatile as it is, I hope our leaders will tread carefully in how they approach things or how they approach each other, because in our own relationships and in our politics, in our work environment, the short fuse wouldn't take much to ignite, so we have to be very careful. Now, on top of that, measured words, right? On top of that, on the 15th, now that's not this week, that's next week, Mercury goes into retrograde. Now, most of you that follow this podcast know what Mercury retrograde is. And it's basically just a slower processing of how our mind thinks, how we can get our mind to do our thinking, and it can just be backwards, it can be slower. It might take us a minute to think of a solution. So I'm not expecting to be a genius during the 3 weeks that it's in retrograde. I already know I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say, where was my mind when I did that? It was going backwards. That's where your mind was. So we have to give ourselves lots of room, each other and ourselves, because there will be mistakes made It's a given. Be so very careful on the road, because when you make a mistake with a car at 90 miles an hour with your hair on fire, it's a pretty big mistake. So I'm always careful driving during that time. I try to not take big trips if I can avoid it in any way, shape, or form, because this is where somebody messes the tickets up or the connections aren't right. It's a hassle. It can be a real hassle. And then Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and attraction, that's in Aries. And as I have said before, that's not the best place for it, because it can be impulsive, can be a little fiery. And maybe some of you like fiery relationships or fiery interactions with people. I personally don't like spice like that. I like it a little bit calmer. Even I like my food a little bit calmer. I don't like the real spicy hot things. So this hot energy in Venus can tend to be a challenge here. Now that's going to go retrograde. So we're going to have a Venus retrograde on the 2nd of March. And that's going to, I think that's, the 2nd of March is Sunday. So we have to be careful with that, because that's our relationship. That is our relationship zodiac sign. So we could push forward and then all of a sudden decide, what do I want this for? I don't even like this. I don't want this anymore. Best bet is to keep our mouth shut until we're out of the retrograde, and then give it a week or so and then say, did I really feel that way? Do I still feel that way? And then address it. But sometimes what happens is we can have some pretty big fiery arguments or discussions, hot little discussions, and then in 3 weeks wonder, what was I thinking? Like, what got me going like that? And the challenge is when we get passionate about something, trying to unsay something doesn't work. Now, some people are really good at being told that that person is sorry that they said it and forgetting it. Some people are not. Some people, it's out there. You said it. It must have come from somewhere. You must have meant it somehow. So feelings are hurt, damage is done, and you can't totally walk something like that back. So we're going to have to be really careful with our words, our thoughts, our actions, with all these retrograde planets slamming around. It's like everybody going down the 401 forward, and there's a few of us going backwards. It can be a little hairy. And then Mars, the planet of our drive, that's the planet that will fight for something. The good thing here is that's in Cancer. Cancer is a loving, homebody kind of loyal energy field that makes us want to love everybody and be loved by everybody. It's a real good family kind of energy. So plan a family get together with your neighbors, get together with your friends. It's a real good time for that, long as you don't get fighty. Don't get fighty. Okay, no fighties. And then the beginning of the week, our vulnerable place will be our head, our neck, our vocal cords, our throat. And if you have issues with thyroid, it could act up, so just be on top of that. Then as the week progresses, about the middle of the week, it can move down to the shoulder, the arms, the hands, your bronchial tubes, the lungs. I myself have issues with that. A vulnerable part for me, so I know I'll be smelling my oil of oregano, maybe putting a little drop of it on my chest with eucalyptus or something, just to be ahead of the game, because a lot of the viruses right now are upper respiratory oriented, and if you're already in a vulnerable spot, yucky doodles. And then towards the end of the week, the moon goes into Cancer, and that's on the 8th of Saturday, and that can be a vulnerable stomach. So watch what you put in your mouth, because if your stomach is vulnerable, it can give you issues. So we don't want issues, especially on the weekend. So just watch for that. Just watch what you choose to eat, how much you eat. It's going to be a tender tummy, and if you already have a tender tummy, be more careful with it. The number that they gave us for this week, tying it together with the planets, is number 6. Number 6 on its own usually means choices. We are given choices. And it might be necessary to make the right decision. It's always nice to make the right decision. But it could be in the face of emerging opportunities or challenging situations. So these choices could be pretty significant. And some of us love choices and love new things and breaking out into something brand new. And some of us just like things to stay right the way they are. And with these choices, it might push us to say, do I like this? To think about what's inside of us. Do I want to stay in this situation? Do I want to move? What do I want to do? So it's a good time to just kind of mull it over. This is an energy field when you take the number 6 and you put it together with where the planets are that will really want to help others. I love that. I love to see people helping each other. It's just so warm and fuzzy. When somebody does something nice for somebody and you got a chance to watch it, or you see somebody help somebody, maybe somebody's struggling to put their coat on and that other person just reaches over and helps their arm in. Just those little things, or maybe opens the door for somebody or holds somebody's arm so they don't slide on the cement. It's so thoughtful and so sweet, and it just makes my heart just explode. So if you have a chance this week to do some little thing to help other people, the number 6 would be so happy if you would do that. And we will look to our partners to meet our expectations. That could be good and that could be not good. So it depends. If the expectations are realistic, well, then that's good. But if they're not realistic, then it's not good. So try not to have too high or unrealistic expectations. Like, for instance, I'll give you an expectation that is unrealistic. Trump becoming a nice person. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oops. So that would be an unreal expectation that person could possibly care about anybody but himself. So if you know something like that, how do you approach the situation? That's what this number 6 is offering us. It also longs for harmony in relationships. So, that given the case, it's supporting us if we want to look for a solution. If we want to be in a relationship, or we like something, or we think it's even salvageable. That's a lot to say when Mercury's coming into retrograde soon. Me as a mercurial person, I'm going to struggle mightily, let me tell you. So it just gives us a chance to say, how would my relationships become a tool of harmony? Now, I don't live with people. I live with animals. So on that vein, I'd be looking ahead to say, how could I make this pack of 15 dogs, turkeys, chickens, 6 parrots, cats, be in a harmonious position? Well, looking ahead, I would suggest exercising the dogs so that they're tired and they don't get into anything. I'm training a little pup right now to be a scent dog. And that tires her right out, because when a dog is doing scent work, they're using 40% of their brain. Can you believe that? And that's a little exhausted puppy. When that puppy, only 3 searches, and that dog just flat out laying down. So when I know that the dogs are quiet, they're not discussing things with the ducks, they're not having issues with the chickens, the cat's sleeping quietly, I set that up. So you look ahead to say, what would harmony in a relationship look like to me, and how do I achieve it? That's what they're asking us to do. And there's going to be an opportunity in that to be successful. So if you're in a love life situation, if you're in marriage, if you're just in a relationship that's just a relationship, they're going to open up some doors here for you. Isn't that nice? And they're going to give most people, the willingness to make compromises. Now, some people can't feel what the universe offers. You know who I'm talking about. They can't feel that the universe is offering them this new feeling of maybe wanting to compromise, wanting everybody to win, wanting it to be a win-win situation for everybody. And the tariff's supposed to be, I think we're supposed to be told on the 4th about whether or not we have tariffs. This energy towards compromise in a normal person would maybe end in a good result for everybody, learning from, all of us taking the opportunity to learn from the challenge, because this is it's a tough situation, but it's a great situation because it's pushing us to be closer as a community, Canada. It's making us to talk. I mean, I'm talking to strangers. We're having discussions that you wouldn't normally have with a stranger. It's offering insight. This is what that stranger thinks. It makes me think. So it's a great opportunity to look at things and to change things, both in our relationships that are close to us and relationships that are broad. And that willingness to do that. So this is a really good energy, I think. I think it's an opportunity. It's going to be challenging. It'll strengthen us. It's given us the opportunity to be strengthened by the challenges that are coming to us. So let's take that road instead of the other road. The weakness is hesitating. If we hesitate in certain things that are clearly something we're supposed to do, that door of opportunity may close. We'll feel, with all these retrograde planets, a restlessness, and when you combine it with number 6. And as I said, that Mars-y kind of warrior energy, there may be a little bit more intolerance. I say that tongue-in-cheek. There's going to be a lot more intolerance. And we have to be very aware of excessive desire for unrealistic goals, unrealistic ideas of what perfection is, and irritability. So be prepared for irritability. I'm already seeing it in the dogs. I saw my dog wrinkle his lips the other day at one of the dogs. I've never seen him do that. So that's telling me that already these fuses are getting short. So just be aware of that. The cards that were pulled, the first ones are about love. Now, that seems strange to me when I first pulled them because, boy, the globe doesn't feel like anything like love right now. Although the pressure put on us, we're together. Our flag doesn't say F*** Trudeau, right? And using the flag to say it. Our flags are actually flying, so there's a benefit now. And this is unconditional love. So the Ace of Hearts came up and they're saying, find unconditional love in your heart. Try to find the love in another person. A very silly, light example of that is my 104-year-old uncle. He's going to be 104, June the 21st. And he does have people that live with him now, but he's very independent. He does everything himself. He can't see well, so he's conceding with some things, but he only stopped cutting his grass last year, only because we had to wrestle him to the ground. He got a new PSW worker, and she's from India. And we got to talking, and we cooked for him together, so she showed me a recipe that she brought from her country. And I only knew her for 10 minutes, and I felt like she was my sister. I found out all about her country and what the culture was from her perspective, her family. She showed me a picture of her kids. When I left there, I just gave her the biggest hug. So I felt like I went on a vacation with a person. We had fun with Uncle Wilbert. He teased us all over the place. Unconditional love. I will never see that woman again, sadly, because they switch the PSW workers all the time, so you never get the same one. And she's only there for 3 or 4 hours, so the likelihood of us crossing paths are really minimal. But for that 4 hours, we loved each other like sisters, really and truly. And that's what that Ace of Hearts is all about. And then the 5 of Hearts came up, and that's disappointment. So there's emotional disappointment. Some of us are going to experience emotional disappointment this week. And we're supposed to take that and make something of it. So accepting the fact that this is emotionally disappointing, the things that are going on are not happy, I don't feel good about this, that's what we'll feel. How do I make the best of it? How do I find my strength in this? How do I move forward in a positive way? Releasing, letting what we couldn't fix go, it's behind us, walking forward. That's what that card means. The Emperor came up upside down, which means there is a leader that is upside down. Gee, wonder who that would be. Anyway, won't make good decisions for people around him, for himself. He's not a good man. When the Emperor is upside down, he's not a good man. Doesn't have other people's interest in his mind. I could go on, you know. And the next one is having fun. It's this prince on a horse. So it's saying, could you just have a little adventure? It doesn't have to be 1,000 miles away, just an adventure. Maybe do something different. Maybe look on the computer for different things that are going on in your community and take part in something that you normally don't do. An example of that I heard on CKLW today. They're having a dirty dub crawl. Windsor Eats is putting together, I think it's March the 15th. They visit 3 or 4 bars that are out of the way. You go on a bus. They do karaoke on the bus. It's just, I guess it's like a party, just a party. Now, I don't drink, and my sister, she doesn't drink either, but I like people, and I like people laughing, and I sure do like people singing. So we're considering, with this card, maybe that would be a fun adventure. That's not something 2 little old ladies usually do, and I'm positive we'll be the oldest ones there if we do go. But it does sound like it would be out of the ordinary and fun. So I'm just suggesting that that's the kind of thing that this card wants you to do. The last energy field here is the 4 of Wands. 4 being a very solid number. 4 corners to the 4-poster bed, 4 corners on your house, solid, stable. And it's a picture of 2 people standing back to back, supporting each other, not leaning on each other, able to lean on each other if they need to, but not making a burden of themselves and not taking more space than they need to. They are supporting each other. The rainbows are around them, the birds are singing, harmony is everywhere. If we have each other's back, if we come together and support each other. And this is a soul card. It's soul, so it's big. It's not little, it's big. So I guess this week, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to support each other. On that note, talk about support. What a segue. Thank you, Charlie, for putting this on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music Podcast, SoundCloud, YouTube. And he's created the website if you want to learn about me and the dog training or the farm. The website is www.terriworld.com. That's TerriWorld.com. And he's archived some of the podcasts that maybe you've missed or you want to go over. 4 or 5 of them, they're up there on the website as well. So thank you, Charlie, for doing that. It takes him a lot of time, and he's so good at doing that. I really appreciate it. And I know you do too. And he was very successful in his GoFundMe page. He has the big8radio.com. If you love music and you like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, he's got it all there. So don't be afraid to stream that. So thank you all for your time as well, tuning in and listening. Be good to each other. Have a great week. Remember, have each other's back. If you need me, 519-726-6699. You can call for a reading, or I can help you with your dog, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.